Station Channel 30. You got a couple hours. If you'd like to spend the next couple hours in an exciting ball game, I invite you to stay with us on Channel 30. Today we're from Mtn View High School, and we are bringing you a treat. The championship ball game for the 1988-89 baseball season. The Wilcox Chargers visiting the Mtn View Spartans. Each club comes in today's ball game at 14-3. Each club has beaten the other club one time each this season. The first game back in April went to Mtn View 6-5. The second game went to Wilcox 5-2. Joining me with today's ball game is my color announcer, Frank Mora.
How you doing, Jim?
Well, pretty well, Frank. How about running down that Mtn View defensive alignment for us?
Okay, for Mtn View. Pitching, number 14, John Charles. Catching, number 19, Lopez. Roy Bishop's playing third. John Dietz at shortstop. Adam Cleveland at second base. Tommy Kesserling at first. And Eric Fettler is in left field. Blanchard is in center field, and Glenn Mahoney is at right field.
Left-handed pitcher John Charles delivers strike one to the first Wilcox batter. The leadoff batter Matt Leonard looks at ball one, evens the count 1-1. Two fastballs from John. He offers up a curve outside, 2-1. John Charles, he leads the Santa Clara Valley Athletic Conference this year in wins. He is was he 5-0, Frank? Is that what we remember?
7-0.
7-0. 7-1. Here we go. He's 7-1. We'll get on the right page of our notes as he goes to 3-1 on Leonard. Charles, 7-1, 51 Ks and a 1.84 ERA. Delivers outside, and the leadoff batter for the Chargers is on base. Brings up Scott Hoshi, the Charger shortstop. Hoshi, a senior. A lot of seniors on the field today. Mtn View starts, I believe, 8 of them. John Charles at the belt. Runner at first base, nobody out in the top of the first inning. Hoshi squares the bunt. The ball gets by the catcher. He plays it off the screen, throws down to second. Throw not in time. So a wild pitch sends Matt Leonard to second base. Game is going with one umpire today. You might have noticed the home plate umpire sprinting out from behind the plate in order to call the play at second base. Perhaps that other umpire will join us as the game progresses. Each club 14-3. Each one has beaten the other one once this year, Frank. So this one's for all the Santa Clara Valley Athletic League laurels.
That's right, both of them. And no matter what happens today, though, they both end up going to the playoffs.
Each will be going to the playoffs. Each goes to a different playoff. Mtn View is a AAA team, and Wilcox a 4A team. Hoshi squares the bunt. Again, Charles delivers in the dirt.
Come on, John, put it to it.
Jason Burns on deck for the Chargers. Charles has pitched against Wilcox once before. That was the game back in April, and the Mtn View 6-5 win. Another square to bunt and another ball. That time he got it out of the dirt, but it wasn't high enough. 3-0 to Hoshi, so Charles in danger of walking the first two batters. Charles went 5 innings in that game against Wilcox. Gave up 2 runs, only 1 of them earned, 6 hits, struck out 3 and walked 2, so he's in danger of equaling his walk total in the first 2 batters of this ball game. Pitch is a strike called. Outfield about normal depth, although there is a pretty stiff wind coming once again from behind our backs at behind home plate, blowing out to the outfield, particularly to center field. Squares the bunt, he offers at it, and a strike is called. So Charles has come back to even the count, or to make it a full count, 3-2. Well, a pretty big pitch here, Frank, with 3-2. Runner at second base, nobody out. We'll see what the Chargers do.
It's Going to have to pretty much groove it in there right now.
He started off at it. He checks his swing, and Hoshi is on.
Seems like Charles is having a little control problem. The manager, McGurk, is going out to talk to him, and the infield's coming in to have a little chit-chat, find out what's going on.
Well, it's a good idea because the batter coming up for the Wilcox Chargers is the #1 batter in the Santa Clara Valley Athletic League, in the person of Jason Burns, left-handed batter. Jason's a senior, and today he's out in center field. Hitting .452, although we have an update on that, and he's coming in even better than that. He's hitting .480.
Wow. I think we're going to want to pitch to him very carefully.
Yeah, he's got 5 doubles, and that's also #1 in the league. So we'll see if Mountain View can wiggle their way out of this first inning jam. No score as of yet.
They're still playing him pretty much straight away, a little bit deep.
First pitch is outside, ball 1.
All right, John. Can't get much better than that.
Leonard at second, Hoshi at first. Burns offers at the pitch, a knee-high fastball fouls it out of play. Evens the count at 1-1. #4 batter Louis Maloney on deck for the Chargers. Jason Burns, the batter for the Chargers now. Curveball, call strike. John had Burns flinching at that curveball. Started it inside to the left-handed batter, broke it across the plate. Makes the count 1-2. Strikeout here would be very big. Fastball, he swings at it high, chopped down to the second baseman. Cleveland goes to second for 1. Dietz makes the force and holds it up. Calls time. It's going to be with runners at first and third with 1 out now.
Well, Charles pretty much got the pitch that he wanted. He wanted to get a low pitch that he hit on the ground right at an infielder, and he got exactly what he wanted. Seemed like it was a fastball, Jim. Think?
Okay, no problem. Here we go. Oh, this is better.
Louis Maloney, the batter for the Chargers. Runners at first and third, 1 down. First pitch swung on, hit out to right field. In comes Mahoney. It's going to drop in front of him for a single, and Wilcox will take a 1-0 lead as the throw comes into the infield. Gets behind Dietz. Runner started to go to third. Now he'll retreat to second base. First base hit of the ball game. First run for the Chargers.
Little Texas League blooper over to right field. He just made contact with it, went with it, and got it. The right fielder, Mahoney, was playing pretty way back, so there was just no chance of him getting that at all. I mean, he wasn't even going to be close ever.
So there's a slight delay as there's a spectator behind home plate, and the umpire doesn't like him to be there, so he's asking him to move. Runners out first and second. It's Jason Burns at second, Maloney at first. There's 1 away, 1 run in. Charles with the delivery. Big number 20, Bud Mayhe, swings through that one. 1-1 on Mayhe. Bud's the left fielder for this Charger ball club. Looks at a pitch, doesn't get the outside corner, 2-1. Mayhe is a junior for this 14-3 ball club. Trying to advance the runners with runners at first and second. 1 run already in for the Chargers. Dietz goes behind second base. Now he's back. Mayhe swings at a pitch, barely gets a piece of it, fouls it off. Jason Smells on deck for the Chargers. Jason, the designated hitter for pitcher Joel Hernandez. the 2-2 pitch. Runners go. Curveball swung on down to the first baseman Kesselring. He can only get the force. He goes to first base. And that's 2 away in the top of the first.
That was pretty well executed. If he's going to make an out, as they say, you want to make the right kind of outs, and that was a good kind of an out. He hit it to the right side so that the runners could advance, stay out of the double play.
Here's number 6, the designated hitter, Jason Schmelzer. Fastball swung on a miss, strike 1. Swung on and foul tipped, actually. So Charles has been able to get through the middle part of that order. Jason Burns was coming into the ballgame at 480. He reached on a fielder's choice. Maloney had 12 runs to his credit. He's still out there at second base, so he may add to his total. 1-1 now on Schmelzer. Charles working the outside corner well. Gets a second strike, and he's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. See if he goes to that curve. He did. It bounces on the outside part of the plate, retrieved by Lopez nicely off the back fence here. Evens the count at 2-2. That's one thing about this field. It's difficult to advance from third base on a ball that gets past the catcher, because the first part of the fence here consists of wood planks, and that ball bounces right off of them. There's a fastball hit sharply into left center field. Blanchard on the run, makes a sliding catch, and that retires the side. Mountain View's defense, which was suspect the last ball game we called here, comes up with a gem. Kelly Blanchard, the center fielder, was off with a crack of the bat deep to his right, makes the sliding one-handed grab. Wilcox does get 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. They strand 2 runners. We played 1/2 inning here at Mountain View High School in the league championship ball game of the Santa Clara Valley Athletic League. Scores 1-0.
Right here now.
I can't see it, Frank. Mike, we're not getting any video. We're not getting any video on our.
Can you play with that ticket back there? Well, Mountain View dodges a bullet in the first inning. The first 2 batters reach via the walk, add a hit to it, and that creates a run after a fielder's choice to the number 3 batter, Jason Burns. Louis Maloney with the RBI single to right field. I think John Charles said that was enough, the 1 run, but he got Bud Mahey to ground out to the first baseman Kesselring, and the retired Jason Schmelzer on the fly ball to center field, which Kelly Blanchard so agilely ran down and captured for that 3rd out of the inning. Mountain View will send Eric Fettler, Glenn Mahoney, and John Dietz to the plate for their half of the inning. Defensive alignment for the Chargers is Joel Hernandez, the left-handed pitcher. He comes into today's ball game with a 4-0 record. He's got 29 Ks, which ranks 7th in the league. He started the first game these 2 clubs played. He didn't get a decision that game, as he was knocked out, though, as Mountain View came along and finally salted that first game away. So it's Hernandez pitching, Scott Sugden the catcher, Tracy Hearn at first, Chris Franco the second baseman, Scott Hoshie the shortstop, Matt Leonard the third baseman. First pitch is outside. Bud Mahey the left fielder, Jason Burns the center fielder, and Louis Maloney handles the right field chores today at Mountain View High School. 1 ball to Eric Fettler. Fastball taken for a strike. So we got a matchup of lefties today. John Charles for the Spartans and Joel Hernandez pitching in the yellow uniforms of the Wilcox Chargers. Curveball swung on, chopped over the third baseman. That'll be a base hit. Large Mountain View turnout today, and you can hear the reaction, and it's nice to hear. Last ball game for a lot of these senior baseball players. Corey Happel will be back. Matt Hardick will be back for another year. Dave Burnley will be back for another year, as will Harold Brown. But everybody else starting today, except with the exception of Burnley, are seniors. This will be their last home league victory, or league game, hopefully a victory. The ball is tapped in front of the plate. Gloved foul by Scott Sugden. A nice play to keep it in foul territory, because number 18, Glenn Mahoney, had easily beaten that one down the line. Outfield pulled around a little bit in center field, but again, not too deep really, considering this wind still seems to be carrying toward the outfield. Infield at double play depth. Hernandez at the belt. Here's the throw. Curveball inside. Mahoney takes it. That's the pitch that Fettler jumped on, a slow curveball. Bounced it over the head of Matt Leonard for the first Mountain View base hit. And Fettler takes a short lead at first base against the left-handed pitcher. Comes to the plate. Fastball hit to the shortstop. Hoshi over to Franco, back to first. Not in time. Eric Fettler raced at second base. Glenn Mahoney exchanged places with him at first base. Brings up senior shortstop John Dietz, number 15. John's got an open stance against the left-handed pitcher. Adam Cleveland on deck for the Spartans. Looks at a pitch in the dirt. Sugden keeps it in front of him. It's ball one. First two balls, the batters made solid contact with him. Pulling the left-handed pitcher. We haven't really seen a good fastball from him. There's a fastball. Dietz hits it down the right field line. Looks like a pitch that this Mountain View club will be able to hit. They have seen tougher fastballs this season, Frank, and looks like a pitch they should be able to drive.
Well, yeah, particularly Dietz, who's leading the league in a couple of categories. Dietz is 6th in the league in batting at .321 average, and he's also 3rd in the league with 16 RBIs. So, you know, he's a pretty good hitter. He's going to drive one because he's also got two doubles.
Yeah, that's 4 doubles.
That's 4 doubles. He's second
in the league.
Thank you very much.
Frank, having trouble with my handwriting is the pitch to the plate. Dietz keeps an eye on it as it drifts outside. We're in the first inning. Mountain View High School scores 1-0. Wilcox with a run in their home half. Dietz looks at a curve. Got a good look at it and was able to foul it off. Stays alive up at the plate. Same pitching matchup as the first time these clubs faced each other back in March rather. Dietz looks at the ball there. And it's a full count on the senior shortstop. And I would imagine Glenn Mahoney will be running on this pitch. We'll see. He's got to make sure Hernandez delivers. He does. Runner goes. Ball chopped down to the third baseman Leonard. That's a tough play to get Dietz. But he gets him over at first. Dietz tried to stretch it out. Goes down for the second out of the inning. 5-3 in your scorebooks. Fettler, or rather Mahoney, trots down to second base as Dietz comes off the field, and Adam Cleveland prepares to step in against Joel Hernandez. Cleveland 5th in runs scored in the league. He has 12 of them. Dave Burnley on deck if he gets a chance. Curveball delivered up high, ball one. Quite a few Wilcox faithful are here as well. Well-attended high school ball game. As well it should be. Championship action today. Cleveland steps out, calls time. 14 league victories for each of these clubs, 3 losses. Here's a shot of some of the crowd. Pitch to Cleveland, hit deep to center field. That's trouble. It's over Burns' head. Mountain View will score a run. That's going to be at least three for Cleveland. He's approaching third. Here comes the throw to the cutoff. They're going to send him. Here comes Cleveland. He should make it. Here comes the throw to the plate. Count. That's a home run for Adam Cleveland. Now you see it. Now you don't. A home run. Mountain View takes the lead 2-1.
Adam Cleveland really ripped that ball hard, way back over the field, over the center fielder's Burns' head. He didn't have a chance at all. And he had to run it down all the way to that little wooden fence way back there, and there really wasn't even a chance of getting him at the plate.
Well, it looked to me like Burns didn't play that ball as well as he could have. We had mentioned that wind, and that wind was what sent it over his head. We'll talk about that some more as Burnley steps in. And instead of the fastball, we'll have a chance to look at it again, Frank.
Okay, and as we see, it looks like he's going to almost make the catch, and then he drills it, and you see him getting all the way back there.
And back to live action, another ball hit out to center field. A Texas leaguer, Franco, the second baseman, makes a nice play going out toward second, away from the infield, to retire Mountain View in the first inning. But not before Mountain View collects 2 runs on 2 base hits. The big blow, that home run by Adam Cleveland. There were no errors, no runners left on base. We played 1 full in this championship ball game. Scores 2-1 Mountain View. Getting back to that ball that Cleveland hit, he saw the fastball from Hernandez, and as we mentioned, it didn't look like Hernandez has a lot on that pitch today. And Cleveland certainly didn't see it that way either. He sent a rocket out to left center field. And I just don't think Burns judged that well. It got up into the air. Burns thought he had to play for it because he had stopped retreating. He was holding his position as far as distance from the infield.
We might be seeing a lot of those today, Jim. As you said, the wind is blowing pretty hard out, straight out to center field.
Yeah, that mistaken judgment cost him. As you mentioned, that ball went all the way back. I would guess that's a good 450 feet out to the nearest fence. And he had to chase it all the way. And Adam Cleveland, not a slow man by any stretch of the imagination, pumping the whole way. And the throw came in, but it really wasn't that close at home plate. Didn't even need to slide. We're going to go to the top of the second inning. The number 7, 8, and 9 batters for the Chargers. They had 1 hit off of John Charles in the first inning. First pitch to Tracy Hearn is delivered up high, ball 1. Coach Fred Apezzo urging his pitcher to throw strikes. It was the proclivity to throw balls in the first inning which caused that run for the Chargers as Charles walked the first 2 batters to face him. 1-1 now.
Come on, John!
Hearn looks a little overmatched here against Charles. He's kind of flailing at those last 2 pitches.
Mike Lopez has an equipment problem, so the catcher goes over and exchanges, I guess, an inside glove or an outside glove. I'm not quite sure. Charles takes a break, throws it over to his third baseman. That's a big lift for a club to get 2 runs in your home half of the first inning on a home run, which is still a relative rarity in high school ball.
Come on, John!
Curveball, he gets him. They're going to have to record the out at first base. The throw down to Kesselring. Nice play to throw it to the outside part of that base, and there's 1 away on the strikeout.
Way to go, Big John!
So Tracy Hearn, the first strikeout victim for John Charles. He's 3rd in the league, Frank, with 51. So now make it at least 52, and this was last week's standings, last week's totals, that is. First pitch, weak swing by Chris Franco. Looks like he didn't get a real good look at it. another fastball up high. Franco offers it in as well. Good pitching by Charles. He figures if he'll swing at the first pitch up around the letters, we'll give him another one.
And maybe go up the ladder a little bit higher, too, while we're at it.
Exactly right. Start him low and just keep going. The old Nolan Ryan school of pitching. Scott Sugden, the catcher, on deck for the Chargers. Franco, the second baseman, made that nice catch going away from the infield to end the Mountain View home half. Looks at a curve there.
Come on, John. That's all right, John.
That was a fine over-the-shoulder catch by Franco at the end of that last inning.